Okay, all right. Hello, good morning. So let's get started. We're going to talk about a topic about trance philosophy and how to go deep and how to take your trance deeper into deeper states, to go past some areas which can very easily hold you back. There are lots of little, let's call them traps, I suppose, which can, within all forms of mediumship, keep you at certain levels. You may find and you may hear or even watch certain people who tend to be stuck on a certain level. Don't go just that little bit deeper or a little bit further. That's really the direction we're aiming in today of where we're going to do or what you're going to do when this happens. Now, it will happen to all of you during your trance practices. You will get to certain points and you will find you cannot take the next step. Now, there are reasons for that. Again, we'll get to that in a little while. But what I'm going to begin with first up is start off with a question. Please get involved. And the first question I want to ask you is, what is mediumship? Not trance mediumship, just what is mediumship? What do you think mediumship is? Anybody got any opinions on mediumship? Anybody want to say something? Please.
Mediumship to me is connecting to the spirit world.
Connecting to the spirit world, yeah.
Bringing through loved ones.
And bringing through loved ones, okay, great. Lena?
Just from some of the experience that I've had, for me, it is the expression of the communication of spirit, the messages, the information, sharing all the communication that they have with whoever you're talking to and yourself. For me, it's been myself because I don't have sitters yet. Okay,
all right, yet will happen. All right, and Rita, have I pronounced that right? I hope
that's correct.
Right.
For me, mediumship is communicating with the spirit.
Communicating with spirit. Anybody else want to have an opinion? Anika. Oh gosh, I hope I got that right too. Close enough. It'll evolve during the speech.
I answer to anything. For me, it feels like being a microphone often for the other side, for those who've passed.
Microphone, cool. Yeah. Anybody else want to have a go? Richard.
Hi, I would say that a medium is a sort of an intermediary between two levels of awareness. And mediumship is when we translate from one to the other.
Okay, cool. In effect, mediumship should be the ability to communicate with disincarnate spirits, using any of your, let's call them extrasensory perceptions, yeah, or paranormal means. So the ability to communicate with disincarnate spirits using maybe any of the clairs. Now, the issue here is just because you can communicate with spirit, doesn't really necessarily mean that it's got any validity. So we need to add into this, if we're going to call it a definition, there must be some logic or intelligence. Otherwise, what's the point? You're going to say to yourself, I'm imagining I've got a spirit next to me. Well, that's the end of it. So we have to add some intelligence or perception of intelligence, yeah. And on top of that, we should say it is via a medium or whatever you classify a medium to be. So we need intelligence, we need a medium, and we also need a purpose. What's the point if there's no purpose? Right? We just sitting there, look, I've got spirit here. They're not giving me guidance. They're not giving anybody else guidance. Well, why bother? No, why bother? So the two or three important things. First of all, we need a medium to be the channel between the two sides. We need intelligence. We need both spirit and the physical side. We need a purpose. So if you haven't got any of these, intelligence and a purpose, and then both medium and spirit, then there seems little point in doing a connection through to spirit. So many people at different parts find that they can make a connection through to spirit, but then do not actually use it. I find quite often that I come across people or students that they make a connection to spirit, but then choose to use their own knowledge. So you get here people who are really just being either psychic or, well, just people are being psychic and using the information that they perceive or see or feel around the energy of the person. So it's like saying I'm a medium. If you're talking from a trance state, I'm a medium, but with my eyes closed. And there's one particular person I do know who describes her trance ability as mediumship with my eyes closed. Now you can see here we've got a fault straight away, haven't we? You know, and she's not making the connection to spirit. She's actually reading the spirit. Yeah. Other people, it is psychic with my eyes closed. I haven't even made a connection to spirit. I've made a connection with the incarnate spirit, as in the spirit of the client, not the spirit of who's on the other side. So often you see people here that have, let's call it psychic ability, that are not connecting to spirit, who are just talking based on their perception of knowledge or information that is sitting around the client. So for people in trance, they are just reading and connecting through to the energy of the other person. So as a consequence, their readings or trance readings sound very much like psychic readings, because they're saying, oh, you've got a new job coming, there's a pregnancy in the family. Now you can spot these people as well to some degree, because they are connecting psychically, as in from me to you, not from me to spirit, because they're connecting psychically. They also tend to use both their own information within their mind, the information that is within or around the client, and you also see it within their body reactions, because there's lots of movement. You can see people who work psychically tend to get information coming quite quickly. And they may start to rub hands, fidget on their seat, rock backwards and forwards, move hands, you know, move hands, move head, and they do not make a true link to spirit. And they struggle on this little part. In not making the link to spirit, then their information becomes limited, and the true connection has not been made. Now, you could say to me, well, is this valid? Is it valid to say, okay, I've got the energy of, let's say, Lena, and I'm going to do a connection with her, right? Rather than give a psychic message, I will just close my eyes and I'll say it is trance. Well, it may be valid from the point of view of doing a psychic reading, but when you're saying you are making a spirit connection, you are not actually doing it. So what is going on here? Often I find people who come into trance practices come from one of two ways. They come from being a healer, or they come from being a mental medium. There is the odd person, they're very rare, who does neither and just seems to be able to talk. But they are very rare, and where they come from neither of those two things. Those who come from a healing background tend to be more interested in, I've made a connection to the energy, I have the energy, and I just want to give the energy away. I am not interested in who my guide is. I'm not interested in where they are, when were they born, what do they look like. I just want to connect to the energy and send it. Yeah. Those who come from mediumship background have more interest of who their guide is, because they can feel the energy. They may not make as good a connection sometimes as the healer, but they then feel the energy and then they want to know about their guide. Now, this is because those practicing mental mediumship have been training themselves to find out who their guides are, or find out who the spirit connector, spirit on the other side is. So they want more validation and information because that's their training. As we go further down the development, those who come from a healing base tend to have a little bit more trouble in getting the speech started and allowing the speech to happen. Mental mediums, perhaps less problems, still potential problems, but less problems. But they it's like swings and roundabouts. You come from one way and you have one problem. You come from another way, you have a very different set of problems. Healers connect easier, but they have more problems with speech. Mediums, they find that they're more interested in the guide, will allow the speech to come through, but have trouble relaxing into the connection. Because they're used to working in a very active state. So they work actively in chasing information, getting information, and not allowing spirit necessarily to do the work. So healers are used to being very passive. Energy's here, I'm sending it to you. Yeah. Mediums, the energy's here. Who are you? What's it about? Where are you from? What guide are you? How are you going to work? Yeah, because that's the training that I've had. Both come to a certain point where they don't necessarily know who the spirit is, and are not sure who that spirit connection is, and then want to express it. Yeah. So the first problem within trance is spending enough time in the connection process. Very often, people want to rush this stage and get from blending into messages, from messages into perhaps readings or demonstrations. But they haven't spent enough time in the foundational work of feeling the connection and connecting through to whoever the spirit is. So they fall into the trap again of, let's say, trance mediumship is mediumship with your eyes closed, or a psychic reading with your eyes closed. And that's not necessarily the case. Now, often trance mediumship is called control mediumship. Control mediumship is more that the guide has greater and greater control during the process. I'm going to talk a bit later about some of the problems people face within there. So, very important for you all to spend your time in the blending process and the feeling process. Did a session yesterday with a group, and the guides gave a beautiful, well, I'm going to call it a poem, which I'd never heard before. I don't know where it came from, and it sat with me for a little bit of a while, and I thought, this is really spot on, you know. And the poem was, the more of spirit, the less of me, the greater medium I will be. And the more of spirit, the less of me, the greater medium I will be. Now, for me, this sums up not just mental mediumship, but trance mediumship, healing as well. We really need to put our practice into sitting, connecting, getting the blending right, feeling the blending. Yeah. So here again, courses can be a little bit too pushy at times for this process, as in you push to do something during the course, so it can take you away from the blending side. So you need a circle to sit within at the same time, which will give you great blending time. If you spend too long in a circle and not enough time being pushed, you'll find that you'll spend too long in the blending time and not bring out what is sitting here. Okay, so we need to bring it up and out. Now, if you imagine, there's actually about 6 or 7 different steps to this trance development, which I've over time I've found. And the first step of this is to sit and feel and become aware. But there's actually a step before this. A step before this is something you have to be interested first. Yeah. Let me go to this first step first. It's actually quite crucial. It sounds fairly basic. The first step, you have to be interested and committed to the process that is going to follow. What do you want to do with your mediumship? Now, it sounds like a very basic question and a very oversimplistic question. What do you actually want to do? Do you want to, let's say, be a platform demonstrating medium? Do you want to be a evidential medium, a healer, a trance medium? Why do you want to do this? Now, I'm asking you these questions because if you are not prepared for the journey that is ahead, I guarantee you will stop. Yeah. If you're not prepared for the journey, you will stop. Again, this is course foundational. You must be getting yourself ready that I want to be a trance medium. I have to be prepared that I've got lots of practice, got lots of time I need to take. I've got to find spirit, got to connect to spirit. I've got to get over these control issues that I have, which of course we all have to some degree. And you have to start being prepared for the work ahead. If you go into the work thinking, I will start today, and by the end of the year, I think I've got it figured out, I should be right. You're setting yourself up for failure. So if you set yourself the target by the end of, well, let's say by the end of this year, come February, you'll be giving up. Okay. Now, if you remember, our definition was to include also not just the connection, but intelligence and purpose. So all of this has to come into play. So here we've got somebody who's not just interested now, has done a little bit of thinking, research, understanding, and is now prepared for the processes that are ahead in trance, and prepared to follow what is or what should happen. And then they go into the second step is, now I've figured out what I want to do and why I want to do it. I now need to start, let's say, start the study or the practice, the preparation. And here, you very much easier for you if you have a teacher. Now that teacher could be, it could be an online course, it could be somebody to help you blend, it could be somebody in a blending group, it could be another medium, it could be somebody else, but you are far better off having somebody to help you at this stage. The reason being is there are lots of little things to do. We're all probably of a mentality that we all need a bit of a push and a nudge to keep us on track, etc. So somebody that you can relate to, or even something. Sometimes a book is just good enough for some, not very many people, but for some. There are very few people who can sit by themselves and develop trance. It can happen. But it's not so common, because we all need to be prepared to sit often and do the work. And I think I saw a question, how long should you sit for? Well, in the early days, I would start off with, if you're very much beginning, I would start off with no more than 10 minutes to sit and feel. And do it every day. Sit and feel 10 minutes. What's it feel like? Where am I? And I find the very best people here, perhaps that's not quite true, the better people here spend extra time on this area. They take their time here. Maybe they come from a meditation or a concentration background. Meditation of just sitting and meditating and feeling. Yeah. Maybe they come from that background. And meditation and sitting in the power are two slightly different practices. Meditation is sitting and feeling and not having any perception, or trying not to have any perception. Sitting in the power is finding the perception, finding the energy and holding your attention with that. Another good practice at this stage is to practice concentration. This practice will affect your life in 1,000 different ways, not just for trance, but literally 1,000 ways. It'll help you during your, let's say, your work life, help you concentrate on what you have to do in other aspects as well, helps to minimize distractions, disturbances, means once you feel that energy connecting to you, you can stay there. I've got the energy. There. Stay with it. Because often you find people here, I've got the energy. All right, I've got to go do something else. I've got to get the bread. I've got to go and do shopping on the way home, whatever it is. So sit. When you sit in the power, can you communicate with spirit? Just sit and feel to begin with. Don't worry about communication. Don't worry about the connection. Don't worry about messages. Don't worry about anything. Just sit and feel. Let me give you an example on this stage. If you, let's say you put a, let's say a peanut, okay, a peanut in your mouth, okay, what does it taste like? Now, of course, you have saltiness to begin with. Can you then spot the sweetness, the sourness, the bitterness? Where does that register on your tongue? It sounds like a very basic thing. But with perception, you start to realize that there's so much more happening that you have totally missed in life that is available to you now. So I taught meditation for quite some time. And I taught meditation at a Buddhist temple for a while. And we used to do walking meditation, not just sitting, walking. And during the walking, you would sit and watch the movement of walk. It's not sit, watch the movement of walking, right? And you think it's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, but it's not. You have to move your body in certain ways. The hips have to move, of course, the knee, the foot, the toes spread, the toes join together as you lift your foot. There's pressure of the foot landing. And when you actually watch yourself walk, there is so much that happens. So much goes on. And you think, what's this connected to trance? Well, if you're not aware, how are you going to know spirit are blending with you or with you at all? How are you going to know? So by doing simple activities like popping a peanut in your mouth, by watching the way you walk, watching the way your fingers move, if you watch the way you, let's say you wash the dishes, or the way you hold your pen, it is far more complex. There is far greater intelligence involved than me. Guarantee that. In just in the simple processes of how your hands move. So hence, if you now have some concentration, you can start to perceive that the energy has shifted. The energy around me is different. Again, just drifting off topic a little bit. So when I'm doing mental mediumship, again, it's perhaps my technique, but it works for me. And that is, I have a spirit here. Okay, guys, show me who they are. This is perhaps some years ago. I would then become aware of what sensations I get in my body. Yeah, nice and simple. And I would be aware, okay, I've got the tingle of energy on my shoulders. So that tells me here about our grandparents. Across below my shoulders, parents. Middle of my back, brothers, sisters. Down my back, it tells me about how I have children. Yeah. And you got left side, right side, close, near, as in standing back a little bit. All of this comes about because of perception, because of concentration, the ability to hold concentration and stick with what's going on, and then noticing the subtle changes. So here then is a big description of 90% of your problems with trance will be fixed if you just follow those exercises we've just said. Actually, the number's wrong. Let's go to 95% of your problems. Maybe even 99% of your problems will be fixed by holding your attention, noticing the subtlety of change around you or near you, and know then that you have a spirit connection, or spirit at least here. Yeah. Do you understand where I am so far? Anybody, have I lost anybody so far? It's only a matter of time before I do, but are you with me? I'm going to do my best in the next bit. Try and lose you all. Gradually, one by one, you'll all drop asleep. So we're going to go, so we'll carry on a bit further. So here then we have somebody, first of all, that's interested in a bit of thought. They've started now their process of inquiry and development. They've either found a circle or a course or another to keep them on track, to keep you practicing, to keep you going. And now, over a period of time, I would say at this stage, 90% of people will drop out. They get to the commitment, they haven't quite got the focus, they haven't put the work into sitting, feeling, and understanding what's around them. They think, this is not for me. Yeah. not just with trance ability, but with other things too. Let's say other vocations in life. It is the foundational work which is important. So another courses that I do, I always say to people, make sure you're sitting by yourself separately. Spend the time by yourself. Spend the time sitting and feeling. So anyway, so we probably lost 95% of people at this stage or something like that. But the next step then is people now start to get established in their sitting. Right, okay, I'm beginning to get this. I think it took me, I think it took me about 12 years to understand what I was doing in meditation. All right, just meditation. Separate issue to trance over there. I think it took me about 5 years with trance to understand what was really happening. With meditation, you think you are aiming for a nice quiet mind and a feeling of bliss and love and all that lovely stuff. That's not true. All right. With trance, people think what I'm here to do is give messages, information in a different voice. Well, that's not true either. Your role here is to firstly find spirit and let spirit do the work. Yeah. Find spirit, let spirit do the work. Sounds nice and easy definition, doesn't it? Find spirit, let spirit do the work. I wouldn't say that's a true definition for trance, but that's a short version. So once you're established now in your practice, you begin to get perceptions and feelings of spirit being around. It starts to affect your life in a few different ways, as in you will get messages outside of sitting. You start to get the connections happening. You start to feel the sensations where maybe your bodily sensations change. Again, here I find people get more feelings of sickness, as in just feel a bit queasy, not vomit, but just feeling queasy. Maybe ringing in your ears, got that tinnitus stuff going on, you know. I'm feeling a bit blurry in the mind at times. Spirit is trying to make themselves known. They get random images here now. Some people describe it as a movie, seeing a flash of images, not a video, but flashes of constant images, which can become like a movie where the images all join together. They start to get the feelings of presence around, and the feeling here that I've got it, I'm there, you're not there yet. You're just feeling it. And you may start to get strange images, pink elephants, blue cats, spotted cars. Do you know what I mean? Put your hand up if you haven't got these yet. All these types of wacko things. You think, what the hell are you playing at? Can't you just give me something sensible, you know? And all these images start to come, and people wondering what's going on. Was my coffee a bit too strong this morning? Knew I shouldn't have had that vodka before I started. Anyway, they start with all these things, and what's really going on here is Spirit is saying to you, look, we're making a connection. We want to find out if the link works. Are you receiving me? You know, so it's very important here to acknowledge what you're receiving, whether you do it verbally or even just in your private times. Yeah, I got the message about the pink cat guys, you know. So acknowledge what is being felt, acknowledge what is being seen, and to know then that this is starting to happen. Now, this is exactly still about the stage of either mediumship or trance. Yeah, a difference is going to start varying now. So if you're practicing mental mediumship, you're still doing exactly the same things that I've just said, but now you've got a decision. Am I going trancey or am I going mediumshipy? Yes, it can be in the form of hearing. You may start to hear different things as well. It may not always make sense. Most commonly, the most common start is clairsentience, the feelings. Not for everybody. Everybody's different, so don't think, I'm not getting clairsentience, I'm getting clairvoyance. The most commonly clairsentience starts to hear now. We start to get the feelings. I'm getting the shivers, getting the shakes, I'm getting the twitches, getting the sickness. I'm feeling there's a male, etc. So now we're at the stage of division. You decide now, am I going mental mediumship or am I going trance mediumship? Now, mental mediumship, now this is just with the session. You can have every session can be one or the other, can be other things too. Mediumship really is based in two different forms, mental and physical. Mental tends to be personal to the medium. Yeah. Physical tends to be we all witness it. So mental is I have Jesus here. And you can't tell me I'm wrong. All right. Physical, Jesus is here. Oh yeah, there he is. Hey man, give me a high five, whatever. And so is I witness it or we all witness it. Yeah. So mental mediumship here tends to be initially, if you go into evidential, you will go very active. So you chase, you do, you discover, you go looking for, you try to make the connection to spirit, you try to find out who are you, what did you do, where did you work, what's your phone number, or whatever you want to find out about, yeah. And so you tend to be very active. Or you go to a passive state, which then is trance and healing. And psychic's a little bit more passive than active, but somewhere in there. So you go into an active, passive state of now relaxing and letting go of control. So mental mediums, if you're practicing mediumship, you're used to going looking and saying, stop, don't do anything. Relax. So hence healers are used to relaxing because they're used to a passive state. Just have a little bit of advantage at this stage, not better or worse, just an advantage. I'm used to be relaxing, and I start to be passive. Other passive states could be inspirational speaking, inspirational writing, automatic writing, where we're just allowing spirit to do the work. Yeah. Now just touch on the physical side just to leave that, complete the equation, I suppose. Physical tends to be where we chase phenomena. We get taps, there might be materializations, dematerializations, ports, smells of ectoplasm, levitation, gosh, many other things, all right? So we're going to follow the path here of trance. So we're sitting in this trance state. So problem number one, or problem number whatever, is here, mental mediums want to do too much. Yeah. When we're talking about trance development. Let go. Stop trying. It will come to you. You do not go to it. Yeah. Let go. Soften. Relax. Be calm. Saying in a nice calm voice to emphasize it, be calm. And just relax and find yourself becoming a little bit mellow. So if you practice now your meditation and concentration, you're starting to get the feeling here. You're on part number 3. You've picked trance mediumship, and you now then have got an established routine, and you're just waiting for the link and connection to happen. Yeah. So this is where we are in this process. So now we've got this person, whoever you are, at this level. I know that I've got to be passive, so I'm starting to learn the passivity. I'm starting to relax, starting to get calm. And we're starting to get the images, and the images are starting to come, or the words, or the feelings, or maybe smells, or even the tingles of sensation. We now then have to go through a process of blending. Yeah. So if I've done this right in the right order, I've got myself sorted out. I'm beginning to feel presence here. How do I get them from being here to being here is where we're at. Yeah. If you see images, feel feelings, or any of the other clairs, let them go. Yeah. Here, the trap number whatever is I follow the images and I think that's it. Hence, you get mediumship with my eyes closed. Yeah. I've held onto the images because that's what I've always done, and I'm going to give you this message about your grandfather. So now you need to leave, at least for a little while, mental mediumship, psychic ability behind. That's a practice for another day, not today. Right? Soften, be calm. Remember the nice poem? The more of spirit, the less of me, the greater medium I will be. Isn't that nice? I like that. Anyway, it's only a day old, I think. Anyway, so we're going to have got to soften. Let them have control. Now, we have control issues. All of us have some degree of control issues, some to a greater degree than others. I don't mean you are controlling, so I'm not saying you're that type of person. I'm just saying you're a person here that wants to get it sorted out, wants to do it right, wants to get order. So interestingly, I did a bit of research on to find out, what does this person look like at this stage? What's the demographic of this type of person? Often you get an empath at this stage who is used to feeling, used to doing it, used to connecting through to others. Mission is to help others. Mission is to heal the world, as such. Now, if you've, again, a bit further research, if you know anything about empaths, they have the potential to attract narcissists. Yeah, opposite side of the equation, if you like. Empaths and narcissists are a match made in heaven to begin with. The empath likes to give, the narcissist likes to take. Perfect fit. Until the empath wakes up and goes, I'm doing all the giving here. All right. And the beginning of the end starts, right? I know you're nodding. You're nodding on the inside, aren't you? So you know what I'm talking about. But the thing is, the thing is with an empath, what an empath doesn't realize here, and what the narcissist doesn't realize, is there is a little bit of narcissism in the empath and a little bit of the empath in the narcissist. The narcissist has the empath to show them their empathic ways, and the empath as a narcissist to show them that they have control issues themselves. Maybe not to the narcissist level, but there's a little bit of control inside. So the empath at this stage now has some control issues that they don't want to let go of. They can be a little bit OCD, a little bit of structured, ordered, like everything nice and neat and pen, pencil, rule, and just have a little bit of a problem, just letting go, soften, let go. They want to hold on, empaths at this stage, want to hold on to this. Yeah, I'm seeing the light, that's where I've got to go, and let me hold on to that. you know. Here's a message, and I know it's your grandfather. Let me hold on to it. Now you've got to let it go, soften. If you try to hold on too much here, you'll be holding on to your mind, and you will not drop into mindless. Do you understand what I mean? Mind and mindless. I don't mean you become an instant dummy. I mean that your mind has softened and is no longer running the show. Now, I also find here that those people who have done any work on themselves, who am I? What are my issues? What's my baggage? Which you've all got baggage except for me. I have none. Believe that, you'll believe anything. But those who do work on this issue tend to be a clearer link as well. I tend to understand process. I'm not holding on to, the ex-husband, or ex-wife, whatever it is, issues around something or other. And they tend to let go a bit easier. The reason they don't let go is because they have built up emotions inside and they don't want to go there. I'm still carrying that pain of that relationship. I don't want to go there. I find it fairly, not common, that's not true. It happens that sometimes people have a problem here because their heart is blocked. Emotionally is really mentally, isn't it? The heart is blocked and I just can't let go because I don't want to go to that painful spot. I've kept everything under control for ages and now you're asking me to let go. I can't quite do that yet. So some people who deal with their stuff, their life stuff, have just a little bit more of an advantage again. I'm not saying you all got to rush out to see a counsellor. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying this is just a little bit of potential here of somebody that help letting go just a little bit easier. So now we have to let go of all these things that start to build up with us, all these potentials. We've got the connection. I want to follow that connection. No, I can't do that. I have to let go. I have to follow my path. And we have to begin now the process of surrender. Lovely word, but frankly, a pain in the backside. Surrender. Very difficult sometimes for some of us to do. And I think if you're not being truthful here, it is difficult. We can't have surrender and still be a bit of a controller, can we? And the two are not compatible. Opposite sides. So we sit here then of this ability. So here you might be under a little bit of pressure or feel self-inflicted pressure often of needing to perform. And I now need to deliver the goods or give a message or start talking or whatever else. So the temptation then is, let me do mediumship with my eyes closed. At least I can get past this exercise or what I have to do. So you hit now the problem. I haven't made a true spirit link. I've made the link, sorry, but I haven't given them control. I'm doing what I need to do to get past this, but no more. So again, you fall into what is maybe comfortable or easy potential at that stage. Now, I'm going to talk about some blending techniques here. So we have here the need now to relinquish, give in to the control, right? And let go. How do we do it? What's really happening? There are a few ways that people here can find being of benefit. And one of the ways is to understand that when you are here, spirit are already with you. You are just waking up to the presence. Yeah. Now, if it's true, we are all one, then what do we need to blend with? What is blending? Yeah. If we are all one, what is blending? So first of all, can you accept we are all one? That's a big question. Can we do it or not? Can you accept that? No? Okay, you know, people have told me and I'll accept what they're saying is true, but can you accept it really? If it is true that we are all one, we're all connected, then blending doesn't exist. It is just opening to what is already there. Yeah. And if it is opening to what is already there, your guide, your somebody's deceased father, or whoever it is already sitting here. Okay, you're probably thinking, yeah, okay, you tell me that's true, but you've got to find it for yourself. It's like the difference between reading a book of how to drive a car and driving a car. It's two different things, isn't it? You know, you would think, I've read the book, I know it. No, you don't. Okay. So trying to find out your own connection of self. Your journey inwards here is important to find both what is already there and to find out who you are. So spirit contact, sorry, is in part secondary to understanding me. Yeah. So Amy asked a question, when are you surrendering spirits? Have you found a way to stop thought altogether? Okay, this is where, to answer your question, this is where the fallacy happens about meditation. People think meditation is, come on, thoughts, stop, get out of the way, and really push, oh, I don't want to get a thought. It's not that at all, right? And meditation should be that don't fight thoughts. If you fight the thoughts, you will constantly know that thoughts are fighting back. Yeah. Let go of the thoughts, just do not follow them, and they will stop by themselves. The issue is not the thought, the issue is the following of the thought. Okay. So to answer your question, Lena, yes, no thoughts stop because I don't try to make them stop. I accept the thought's going to bubble up like a glass of champagne, bubble, bubble. But do I look at the bubble or do I look at the rest of the champagne, if you know what I mean? Do you see what I mean? And don't follow the ball, go, and then they'll stop by themselves. The more stress and strain and beating yourself up over meditation and thoughts you have, the worse you will make it. Just become that. So yes, the thoughts do stop, and there just seems to be nothing. So, and then when you perceive this nothing, and if you have concentrated enough, you know that there isn't nothing, that there's everything and something. Yeah. It's like a power of concentration then. I've got no thoughts. Oh, there's an energy building here. But if you follow the thoughts and concentrate on the thoughts, you won't even know that the energy is building there. Concentration helps a lot. Okay, so I'm doing the process, surrendering to spirit, healing yourself during this process. Exactly right. Right, so blending techniques. First of all, don't follow thoughts is a great way of doing it. It takes a little time, little practice, and you'll realize then you already have your guides with you, just through perception and awareness. You can use practices to calm your mind, and there's plenty of those. Music, no music, guided meditations can help in the calming of the mind, but at some stage you've got to let them go, because if you follow a guided meditation, you're going to keep the mind working. You'll be mindful, not mindless. And so you have to let go of the guided meditations. Beginning the relaxation process, feel your body. Where am I? What's going on? Feel the perception. Let the heart open. Let the heart open. Critical. All right. The mind will become still. The heart needs to open so that energy can flow purely and efficiently and nicely. Is nicely a technical word? Nicely is a nice word, isn't it? Nicely, nicely. There we go. It can flow around you. Let the heart open. Try putting your attention on your heart and find out where your heart is blocked. Feel it? Feel where your heart is. Is your heart truly open, or just do you believe it is open? Anyway, so really, we're still not talking about connection here. And we kind of, I don't know, however long through we are. Yeah. So you can see all the pitfalls which are happening here in these stages of development, you know. So now, over a period of time, you become aware that there is something else with you. There is another intelligence, which is very lucky for most of us, because this intelligence isn't quite good enough to cut it. But the other intelligence is here, and we now need to let it do the work. Yeah. Feel it. What's that saying? If you're feeling your body, are you not holding on to thought? If you look at your thoughts, if you just sit and watch your thoughts, 99% of your thoughts are about the future or the past. Yeah. A lady comes the other day, she's in a lot of pain over an incident, breakup of relationship, etc. I said to the target, think about what's your thoughts during the day and see how much you're thinking about today, yesterday or tomorrow. It's going to scare you to death when you do this. You're going, oh my God, I'm in this imaginary world of tomorrow and reliving yesterday. So concentrating on your body, which I think was the question, feeling your body, not holding on to a thought, just concentrating on the body, not judging, not thinking about it, just like, well, there's my hand, oh, it's moving, I can let it go now. That will keep you in the present moment. There's a beginning meditation I do at the beginning of courses, which goes through the senses. Stop and feel. Stop, feel the weight of the body on the chair. Feel the touch of your feet on the ground, a few extra other things. In part is your senses are only in the present moment. Yeah, your senses aren't tomorrow. You can't smell tomorrow or yesterday. You can only smell now. Coming to your senses brings you into the present moment. Now, I am going to get on to the philosophy bit, which we said we'd talk about, but these are all the pitfalls we're coming across so far. Yeah. So now we start to make contact with spirit and we start to let go. Now there are many, many blending exercises you can do. If you're in a group, follow the group or your teacher or whoever it is, or however you want to find them, find those, work with them. Find the one that you feel comfortable with. Yeah. If you plateau and you're not getting anywhere, change it. Find another one, another blending exercise to see if it works for you. Now, we're at a stage now, let's say I am beginning to get the connection of spirit. So you're feeling the feelings, you know, the perception. You're beginning to let them do the work. You're beginning to feel the contact starting to happen. Please take your time on this up till this point. And you're beginning to do it, and I'm beginning to start to let them do the work, let the spirit do the work. And I'm feeling this starts to happen. I now have to trust it. This is, again, particularly for some of us, trusting them to do the work is the next big hurdle. If you've ever practiced mental mediumship, you will know that I've got the ability, I have to do a demonstration. Please turn up. Come on. You know, you're at this stage. If you've done it, you know what I'm talking about. You think I've got this event coming up. Please be there. Please be there. You know, and whether it's trance or mental mediumship or anything else, you've got to trust these to turn up, trust it to happen, trust what's got to be said to be said. A little bit of control bumps in saying, no, you can't say that to that person. We can't talk about death. Can't talk about illnesses. Can't say, oh, your husband's having an affair. You know, whatever it is. Got to have this trust bit of spirit here to do the work. So this trust is a process you have to develop in time, and you only develop trust. You only develop trust by one day saying, okay, have a go. You guys do it. You can't develop trust any other way. You have to one day let them do the work. And then you can trust a little bit more and a little bit more. Okay. Notice here, again, your own awareness will tell you how much you're holding on. Let go. Now, there's a lady here, a mental medium, who has had loads of talent. 5 years, she's going, I can't do it. Yeah. I'm saying, yes, you can. No, I can't. I can't give names. I can't give this. I can't do that. Yes, you can. And for 5 years, I have not been working on technique with her. I have been working on trust. Yeah. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And we come to a point, right? She said, I've been invited to do a demonstration. Okay, let's do it. I'll come. So I'm sitting in the audience watching, and you see her. And the first demonstration, I've got to give this message. Oh, you can't take that, can you? Yeah. Okay. So we talk about it afterwards. And then the second demonstration is, I said, don't worry about it. You're waiting for the audience to give you a yes and a no and a gratification. Just give it. We practice what I call the WTF method of mediumship, which is give the information, and that's the end of it. Right? Leave nothing behind. You fill in the blanks. Anyway, it sounds like a cheesy method, but it's the best method for getting people over this bit. WTF, just do it. And so she did, and now she's no holding her back. Names, reasons of passing, addresses, issues going on, second names, third names, everything is just flowing. Yeah. Not much difference to, that was mental mediumship, but not much difference to trance mediumship. You've got to let it go. Just let it go, let it happen. Otherwise, you're going to say here and not go down to here. Often, in mediumship, people get limited by talking about what is easy. Yeah. So they're not doing the WTF method. They are doing the what I know method. right? Which is, I've got to say this, I've got to talk to you about that. I know that you have a, you know, you ride a bicycle, whatever. I'll talk about that. And frankly, their trance ability becomes regular. Yeah. Let's say they stick at the philosophy stage here. Philosophy, everything is love and light, everything's wonderful. We're all connected, whatever. And that's at the very lowest bit of the philosophy, that example. They are still having trouble in letting spirit have control. Yeah, you can see this. I hope you can see the example where they are. They are still working from what they know or what they feel comfortable with here. And you'll all hit the same path. It's not wrong. It's just on the path. When you hit this path, your choices are to stay where you think it is comfortable, or to let go, which is step number 4. Right, I've got the connection. I know it's here. I've just got to let go. It's all starting to talk about lovely things, which may be a bit cliche potentially. I'm not taking that full risk. I'm not fully letting go. So again, here courses are wonderful at this stage. Groups are terrible at this stage because groups will keep you there. They're not pushing you to change. You do what you like. Okay, I've done it. There we go. I've got through this group. Courses are not going to let you do that. Courses are going to say, no, you need to talk about, I don't know, whatever. So here now the push of courses is better. Or push of a teacher at least is better. It could be a private session. I talk about this deep. I want you to go deeper now. Go past that. Let's talk about I remember once I did an example with a lady. She was stuck at this stage, right? I said, okay, you got homework to do. It was a private session, of course. You got homework to do. Talk to me about what happened in the 1972 baseball final. What? I don't know what happened, but I don't follow baseball. I don't know what it, you know. She didn't know. All right, well, give it a go. Sit, put the microphone on by yourself. Sit, do it. All right, okay. Geez, so now she's under pressure, right? You can see the pressure here. Can you see what's happening? And she wrote down, she said, I'm getting the name, I can't remember the name. I think I'm getting the name Phoenix, and I know a building collapsed. Right, she spoke this was her trance speak, it's not a, all right, okay. Anyway, Google it, find out. And I think whoever it was, Phoenix or whoever was in that final that year, and just before it, a building collapsed, right, near the stadium or something like that. And she would never have got there with that information if she stayed with what is comfortable. She would still be at everything's love and light, and we're all here together, you know. So here you can see then a course or a teacher or someone just to push you a bit further, go a bit deeper, push is of immense benefit to you. Yeah. And you need to let go of what you're comfortable with in order to gain what you are possible to do, which is step number 4, probably step number 5 virtually, to let go. You have to be detached. And so you'll see it that people here, this is a common plateau level, people just do not take enough risk at this stage. Really, they're saying, I'm not letting go fully at this stage, yeah? And they need to let go and to surrender. And they get caught there. So now, you now have to start letting go even further about what is comfortable to you and what is easy for you. And what you think is possible, where you limit yourself, and let go to the point now that you have to fully take yourself out of your comfort zone by letting spirit do the work. So here the advanced, more advanced student will do exercises like being in two places at the same time, healing at the same time as speech, talking about somebody's past life, bringing through their relatives. Yeah. And all of this sounds like it's hard work, difficult. It's only hard work if you're doing it. This is not about you doing anything. This is about you letting go and letting spirit do it. So you can see it's the control bit again. Let go, let go, let them do it, let them do it. Yeah? And that's where it needs to be. Again, I say issues again, if you stay in just a circle which doesn't push you, then this is where your problem will be, that you will not take another step, where you've got to get out of your comfort zone and let spirit do the work. Trust them to do that bit. Now we're at another stage, and the next stage is people practicing trance. They're starting to get the things happening. They're starting to get good communication. The words are starting to flow, or some words are flowing quite well, but they are not now totally relaxing into spirit, so spirit can take full control. They still have in memory. I am still interested in what's being said. I haven't let go about what's gone on. I am watching, observing, and not allowing. If you're watching and observing, there's still a little bit of control. Yeah. And you need to take another step. Your messages here at these stages can be very valid, can be very good, can be not fully spirit because there's still a percentage of you, but you've just got to take another step of letting go a little bit more, so that you then will talk about things you do not know, maybe talk in different languages, maybe the personality of spirit is present. Yeah. But now you've got the difficulty. I'm talking all about this stuff. You know, I heard somebody say, your guide say this, but I can't fully let go into it. You know, I'm still interested in. You've got to be uninterested at this stage. Just your final step is to be not interested. And then you're not interested. You practice things like talking and then going out of your body at the same time. And then all of a sudden you disappear and an hour is gone and you come back. What happened? So there was a group yesterday as an example. I thought it was about 15, 20 minutes. That's all it felt like to me. And it was an hour and 50 minutes in trance. But I didn't know. So not interested, you know. So all I'm doing is allowing, letting go, letting the whole thing happen. Yeah. Surrender to it. So this is the process people generally follow during their trance development, starting with a little bit of understanding and research to doing nothing at the end of it. Yeah, totally doing nothing at the end. This is an important bit to do. Now, if you are a healer during this process as opposed to a speaker, and you can still speak during the healing process. Here your healing ability has gone from well, I know there's some energy around, I'll give it to you, to I am letting the energy flow through me to you, then deeper again, The energy is flowing. And deeper again, there is the connection here. I don't know what's happening. 2, now you may start to get some bodily movements. Potentially, if you are moving hands and healing from the point of view, we could go into psychic surgery here. So it can change a lot during that process. So that I did some research on, there was a bunch of advanced students, and I asked them, and I said, what advice would you give to those who are developing? These aren't my words, they're their words. And their words were, don't rush the blending. Don't be in a rush to speak. Find a good group, one you feel comfortable with, and stay with it. If you're not comfortable, change. Yeah. Take some guidance in the early days. Trust. Now, it's like, okay, how would you, and the second question to the advanced people, how would you fix it? What would you tell people to do to fix these problems? Spend longer time blending, particularly in the early days. Yeah. Practice concentration. Yeah. Have faith that this will happen. Don't give up at the first hurdle. There's probably a few more that I can't remember, but in essence, those were it. Now, if you look at these things, what they did, they said, your biggest problems is your mind. That's, in essence, if we sum them up. And your biggest solution is blending, relaxing, getting the mind to work with you to begin with. That will answer, I think it was 99% of problems. See, this is the whole point of this is if you want to take your trance deeper, if you want to make a bigger connection or you want to make a connection, stop getting in the way. Stop getting in the way. It sounds so simple. Just get out of the way. Reveal what is there. And let it do its work. And you'll find that if you can truly let go, and let go a little bit more, then a little bit more, then a little bit more, then all that you want to talk about is already there within you. You just got to let it out. Now, what I found in my discovery is I found that the body of knowledge, what I know about, let's say about you or about the world, or what I can talk about you or the world, already sitting inside of me. Now, it sounds a bit strange to say that, but there is a body of knowledge that's already inside of me. I'm tapping my chest to say me, it's not in my chest. And there is a body of knowledge that's already there, right? I've just got to allow myself to use it. A body of knowledge could be what's happening tomorrow, what relatives you've got alive and past. Yeah. How do you say elephant in Japanese? Dave, you probably know, but anyway, how do you say these things? How do you help somebody with their problems? So here's an interesting thing, right? This proves my point to some degree. You got a client that comes and sits with you, all right? What for whatever type of thing is. Let's say you're a mental medium or a trance medium or healer, doesn't matter. Let's say you're a mental medium and a client books an appointment and they walk through the door, they sit in the chair and they say, right, let's begin. How do you know what you've got to do? How do you know that client, let's say, needs mental mediumship, needs trance, needs healing, needs a maybe something else? How do you know? Well, you don't know, do you? You can't know. And you think you're going to, they've booked it in for, let's say, a mental mediumship reading. Do they need that? Or is that their perception of it? How do you know? Is it possible to know? So let's say you went to, you booked an appointment with a medium. And let's say that person said to you, I know you've come here to connect to your father who's passed, but I can see that what you really need is healing. Would that be right? And if that was true, you know them, don't you? They know you. They feel like, you know me, you understand. Yeah. And so if you don't know, why don't you just ask Spirit? Yeah. Why don't you just ask Spirit? What's the best way to work with Velda? How can I do that? You can't possibly know. You think you know, but you can't possibly. But if you are sufficiently attuned to Spirit, the more of Spirit, the less of me, the greater medium I will be. People are going to get sick of that phrase. But anyway, I'm not sick of it yet. And they will tell you and say, oh, she needs this. So a long time ago, not a long time ago at all, not that long ago, your readings then changed to quote somebody once, I feel like you've looked into my soul and you've told me that everything is there. Mark can't do that. I can't do it. You can't do it. You can't know that person's issues, that person's problems, but spirit dudes can. Yeah. Let them do the work. Let them do it. You don't need knowledge. You don't need to understand it. You don't need knowledge. You don't need nothing. You don't need to read Psycho Help for Dummies number 101 or whatever it is, and how to help people grieving. You can never figure that out. You can never know. But they know. Let them do the work. Yeah. Let them do it. And yeah, as Julie just said, there's my experience working with developing trance mediums. They concentrate on more going deep than the development process. So like an oxymoron, isn't it? The process is the ability to take them deep. So what awaits you on this journey, should you choose to accept it, is initially lots of doing nothing. But you can take a lot of effort to do nothing to begin with. All right. a lot of effort of just choosing to do it and then choosing to let go a little bit more, choosing for that knowledge to come out. You know? If you think that you also have that little bit of knowledge inside you of how to deal with the person that's come in front of you, or how to deal with what happened in 1972 or whatever year it was, baseball, or how do I talk about somebody's true soul. The more you try to do it, the worse it will be. If you are talking about only what you know, you have control issues. You're not blending sufficiently. If you're doing mediumship messages but with my eyes closed, you've got a bit to learn yet. The process is no more than let spirit do the work. That's it. That's the sum total of the whole process. Let spirit do the work. Yeah. How do you do mediumship with eyes? How do you do mediumship with eyes open? Well, you should be doing mediumship with your eyes open. If you've got your eyes closed during mediumship, you can find that you're looking inwards too often. Yeah, so you have the temptation here with your eyes closed that you can drop easier into psychic readings. Plenty of people can develop mediumship with your eyes closed, but it's far better with your eyes open. Find out for yourself, you'll see what I mean. All right, let's go to some questions. Give the voice a rest for a while. Anybody got any questions or problems that they face?
When you say go beyond philosophy, what exactly do you mean by going beyond philosophy?
Okay, philosophy can be, in its early days, its limiting, most basic level is what some people will call spiritual philosophy, which is just basic facts, yeah? In other ways, it'll be a little bit deeper. But the philosophy then will go from being, let's say, what I call general, yeah, to person, it goes to personal, and then it goes to universal. So let's treat it in the way. General is in it's all, again, can be a little bit fluffy, do you know? Personal, let's say, Julie, I need to tell you this, it's about this. General is, this is true for all of us. So again, an example of a reading, the exercise in the reading, it was odd numbers one day, so I'm filling in with the group. So let's say we're breaking into groups of 4, can't remember. In that group of 4, you had to give a message for it that will fit for everybody. Yeah. So let's use this as an example. If you're on the lower stage, you'll give something very general, generic. If you go to the personal stage, you'll say, Julie, I need to tell you this. Lane, I need to tell you that. Brandon, I need to tell you this, whatever. If you go to the universal stage, you'll say, there's a person in your life that is holding you back. Don't worry, it'll pass. You know, something like that, which is true for all of them. Yeah. So general, it's not aimed at anybody, it's just thrown out there. Personal, it's aimed at just say one person. Universal, it fits for everybody. So here then, when you get to that level, people often say, you gave a speech to 20, 30 people, but I thought you were talking to me. Yeah, I could relate to everything you said. And the person next to you said, I can relate to everything you said. Try doing that in your, let's say, in your daily life. You can't. You can't know enough. You know, you'd have to do research first and say, oh, Gretchen, fill this form in. Cindy, can you fill this form in? Julie, fill this form in. Okay, let's think about it. Let's put it all together. Do you know, that's probably the way you do it. But in trance, it's not thought about, it's just delivered. And you only take yourself from one stage to the next stage to the next stage by not doing the work. You got more knowledge than that, go deeper. You know more than that, let go, go deeper. Does that answer your question? Hopefully it does. If you get stuck at each of these stages, you are not letting go, just a little bit more. Or you're having a bad day, which of course happens. And the solution is better blending. It's the only solution, better blending. All right, anybody else got a question? Yeah, question. Somebody, I saw a hand go up, I didn't catch who it was. Question, sorry.
When I channel, I don't feel like I'm channeling a specific individual entity, you know, spirit. It feels, sometimes I feel as though I'm tuning into a radio station or a frequency. And a lot of times it just feels like it's my own soul. But when I listen to it after, I don't, it's like what I believe and know about, but it's something I could never verbalize on my own. Would that be more channeling, or is that maybe inspired speaking, but in your opinion, or do you feel that that is a level of trance?
To me, that is inspirational trance. Let me give you a definition here. Inspirational trance. First of all, you're surrendering to a degree of control because you're allowing the information to come through to you. But there is the deeper possibility yet of surrendering, not becoming interesting, so that the message now becomes very much more either specific or then goes into the universal afterwards. Inspirational work is, which psychic skills are, I'm not saying you're doing psychic work there, Gretchen, but I'm just talking psychic separately. It's like the information is given to you, but you don't necessarily know where it comes from. Yeah, I describe it as like coins dropping into the slot of a fruit machine. You know, the coin just drops in, the information just comes, it's there. Yeah. Process being for you again, if it is your soul talking, then that's wonderful, you know. That's wonderful. Don't criticize yourself for it, you know. I mean, I know plenty of people who do. I'm not saying you do, I'm just talking generally, sorry. People can criticize themselves for, it's just my higher self. Okay, let it run, it'll go deeper. So let's look at it as depth. You're sitting here, your higher self is sitting here, the spirit control is everything there. The higher self is just one part of the whole spirit self. Yeah. So again, a little bit more letting go will take the information from being just one part of spirit to a greater part of spirit. So if you imagine a let's say a bag of rice, yeah, it looks like the bag of rice is made up of individual grains, you know, Gretchen's grain of rice, Felder's grain of rice, Mark's grain of rice. But the truth is, it is still one bag of rice. Can you see you're accessing 1 grain of rice? Let go a little bit more and you'll access more grains.
Mhm.
And let go a little bit more and you'll see the whole bag.
Right.
So you're not wrong. It's just a little bit more to go to get a little bit bigger and better.
Yeah, because I mean, just two other quick comments. My goal is to be able to do it with my eyes open eventually, to serve at churches. And then just one other comment. A friend of mine who I've been sitting with for a couple of years, he died on October 1st. And I have all of his recordings and I've been looking at them. And I have this feeling that he's speaking to me from spirit,
Lovely.
because that's the level that, and so I value that soul level communication now, I think more because I've had this experience with him. And so, but as far as like doing it with your eyes open, do you think that's possible?
I do know a medium that does it with their eyes open. They're very rare. It's like meditating with your eyes open. It's just a bit, you just get more perception of other things, you know. So you've got to be a little bit more, let's say, pure in your blending process, where you can sit with your eyes open, and if your dog or your cat run in front of you, you do not see it.
Okay, yeah.
That's difficult, not impossible.
Yeah, well,
but
yeah,
it's,
sometimes. Okay, thank you. I don't want to take up too much time, but
that's all right. No worries.
it's just
So-
really rattling around.
It is very possible. It doesn't mean it's not possible. You're just setting yourself a little bit of a harder pathway. I do know one medium that does it. And supposedly, know of one medium. I don't know this medium. Supposedly the messages are wonderful, just as much. And if you think about it, Buddha, or Buddha, as you would say in America, just his style of meditation is your eyes slightly open.
Okay.
Amrita.
In terms of practicing, because eventually I would like to be able to open my eyes and get the message and connect with spirit.
Yeah.
Do you recommend practicing meditation from get-go with the eyes open?
Let me give you another way of working this, and maybe this connects to Gretchen's question too. You can practice it with your eyes open, and you can practice it within your daily life. Anybody that's been in anything other that I've taught with, I always say one practice that's really good for trance is listen to your early internal voice. You know, as you're walking around, listen to that voice, ask it a question, see what it says. Yeah. Potential pitfalls, you can stay on inspired and not drop truly into trance. Potential, or you can stay uninspired as a stepping stone truly into trance control. If you want to practice that way, ask questions of yourself, if you understand what I mean. Do you know how you get inspiration from times, Amrita, where it may say, oh, look, I know I've got to ring Bob, whatever, and you ring Bob and Bob says, funny you should call, you know, or I know something's not right here, let's go and find out, you know. So this is your internal knowing. You can follow that. I follow it a lot. And is that trance? It's not trance, it's inspiration, really. So you have that pitfall of just staying there with that level. Have to find the right way. I would recommend that you first build up the connection of spirit, practice this other inspirational feeling part, and then explore. The question would be, why? Why do you want to do it with your eyes open? What does that actually give you? Is that secret? I'm putting words in your mouth, Amrita. I'm not saying you're saying this, okay? Is that secretly saying, I want to be in control? I want to watch what's going on, in which case there's control stuff, you know. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm just.
No, it's quite correct. I struggle with control, and even when I'm sitting in spirit, I don't feel anything, and I feel that I'm putting too much pressure on myself to feel.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, but a lot of the circles that I'm part of, they basically reprimand you for closing your eyes, for example.
Right.
And they want you to communicate with the spirit with your eyes open, and I don't see anything.
Is this mental mediumship, or is this...
Both. I've been to a couple of trance circles, and also the mental mediumship.
Okay, all right. Well, if you have a teacher teaching you, you should follow the teacher. That's the right answer.
To basically get myself a teacher first.
Well, if you haven't got a teacher, then you're really if you're at stages, what I said, 1, 2, and 3, you've got a higher chance of falling off, disappearing, giving up. If you haven't got somebody to, maybe a whip and a chair, maybe a carrot and a stick, whatever, is going to keep you in line. No, do it this way. Try this. No, you are there. This is happening. Don't go that way. There's a pitfall there. Do you know? You can do it by yourself, but you've got to have the right personality to do it by yourself. No, it's not so easy, you know, but you can. And then you've got to explore every avenue to find the pitfalls and to go, no, don't go that way, go this way. You just save yourself time and effort by having a teacher, but you can sit by yourself.
One last question. This is something I've been struggling with. I used to have fear a lot, like crippling fear. Yeah. And I have been able to work through that with a lot of healing, energy work, and clearing blockages and stuff. But a lot of people keep asking you to, for example, ask only spirits that come from light. Or the thing that has helped me progress from fear is the fact that I believe everything comes from light. And then these are conflicting beliefs that kind of put you back in a state of fear. So what are your thoughts on that?
When I do particularly beginners groups, often comes up, should we be using psychic protection? Yeah, that's the question that comes up in the early days. And I always say to people, if you are scared by it, use protection. You know, if you're not bothered, well, that's up to you. You know, personally, I went to my guides, my gatekeeper. You take care of it, right? This is actually a good exercise to do because it built up trust with my guides, right? My guide said to me, all right, don't do these things then. Okay. You know, so me being me, I said, yeah, right. He won't know. He won't know. I've had a bottle of red wine. I'm going to practice trance. You know. Anyway, so I did break my rules. All right, and frankly, when I did wonderful trance. For the first glass of red wine. By the 31st glass of red wine, different story, right? I'm only joking. Set your relationship with your guides. Love each other. There's a guy who came to me the other day and he says, I love my guides. Okay, yeah, right. No. I love my guides. Okay, that's trust. He wasn't just saying it cliche, okay? He was saying it from truth. You don't need protection then. The fear's on your side, it's not on the spirit side. At some stage, you got to let go.
That's the thing. When I put protection or do all these 12-day shielding and all, I feel that it actually creates fear for me.
Yep, I can understand that too. Me, set it once, forgot about it. In terms of my own protection, I talk about it all the time, but I don't do it anymore. You see, fear is going to hold you back, isn't it? It's obvious. Fear is very subtle. Starts off very dominant, but when it's not getting its own way, it comes up in another way. Fear is ego. Ego is belief in the body. So part of your work is to believe you are spirit. You still have the belief in body. Can you get that logic? Yeah. And let go. One of the builds it up a little bit. One of the practices I've done with people at times is, you're having trouble going into trance, I'll come sit with you. Right, so you as the student sit and blend, me as taking the role of teacher that day, comes and sits with you and say, look, I'll take care of all the crap. You just do your stuff, right? And 99% of time, the student goes deeper. Now, this doesn't happen, right? So let me just get this right. But if it did happen, if I said, right, you do your stuff, I'll take care of everything, and meanwhile, I'm just going to go and have a cup of tea, go and eat my breakfast, whatever, go to the toilet, come back, sit down. The student will still say, I went deeper than I did before. It's not to do with the teacher, it's to do with the student. But it can make you feel just a little bit better. There are techniques that I do separate to that. Okay? So you've got to work on your mind. Okay. What's that, Michelle? Yep.
In the beginning process, I had a couple experiences where there was a rabbit running and I'm just chasing it, and then all of a sudden I just realized I'm kind of out. And then I've had like a bicycle ride, like some kind of visual thing where I'm chasing something. And then a couple of times I've had where I felt like I slipped on a banana peel and fell backwards, and it freaked me out. Like I just went, whoa, I thought I was going to hit my head. Yeah. Are these visual guides that they're trying to get me through to get out of my mind? Or not mind, you know what I mean, but or is it just me?
Okay. It's very hear very often people who have feelings of falling forwards, falling backwards, slipping on banana skin, slipping down steps, slipping on ice, falling off cliffs. It is, and I suppose you could say chasing the rabbit. It's really the same thing. And all of these are saying about where you've got to go. It's a sign of bodily separation, sign of separation between self and spirit, sign of you have the ability to go deeper. You just need to kick up the backside to go deep. It's telling you to let go. The issue is slip on the banana skin and stay slipped.
Yeah, it's been hard because I feel like I'm going to smack my head. And I'm like, whoa, because your bodily reaction is to
absolutely
protect yourself.
Yeah, your control jumps back in again. What the?
Right.
And
are they implanting the vision in my eye to chase something? Like one time I was running down a flight of stairs, and I just realized when I was doing that, and in the midst of it, I snap up and go, oh, wait, I'm going somewhere. And because I'm actually lost. I'm in another place, like mentally, and
what would happen if you went?
That's the thing. I don't fully get engaged all the way through it, and that's
when you next get the rabbit, chase the rabbit, go with it, find out what's the other end of the rabbit. The reason I say that is an exercise again the advanced group did, which was let's all blend together. Let's go to a certain place. Everybody came back with a very similar experience. There was a process that we followed, and they all came back with white in different ways. You know, white columns, white ocean, white snow, white this, white that. I can't remember what they were. All right, because I did a certain process. So I'm not saying I didn't do anything, but in essence, it's the same as what I said with Amrita. The suggestion happened, you know, but I actually went with each person. I connected to each, and I took them. And it is just that issue of trust and letting go, and either chasing the rabbit, following the rabbit, or finally letting go and falling. We fear when we fall that we're going to bang our head, as you said. But what actually happens is you fall into love. There you go. It's nice sounding, isn't it?
It gets me angry that I don't fly, because after I do it, I'm like, wake up, my God.
I should have gone.
You know? Should have chased the rabbit. But it's like all of a sudden I just kind of wake up out of it because I realize what I'm doing, and then that's like I guess my control over the situation. It's kind of interesting.
It is. It's the old devil called control. Yeah. All right. Look, I've got time for one more question. Anybody want to have a stab? Thanks, Michelle. Anybody want to ask a curly question? Go on. Well, Annika. New way of saying it. It's not Annika. Is that right?
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. There we are.
Thank you. What have you found to be the most effective process to meet your guides, connect your guides, get to know them? Is it the blending, or do you set an intention? How did you connect with your guides and get to know them?
All right. For me, the secret is don't try. Because I put perception, and we all want a guide who is, let's say, Elvis or Buddha or Gandhi or I don't know, whoever. Do you know? Frankly, you're probably going to get the road sweeper, the nurse, the somebody, you know, and they don't give a damn. And they don't care that our description is road sweeper or work in the, you know, checkout chick or something. I'm not sure, you know. That's who they was. That's not who they are. You know, we as the physical side wants confirmation from the spiritual side, and we want them to be something and somebody. And the next thing you're going to say is, okay, if you are this, give me evidence to prove it. No, show me your grave. Tell me what books you wrote. You know, whatever. And this is where the healers have an immense benefit, and they don't care. And healers often say, I don't even know who my guides are. I just know they're there. You know? All right, well, give me the knowledge. That's enough for me. And you know, the needing to know and the needing to get validation can be very much about the physical world, not the spiritual. You think if you're a spirit, let's say you've come to the terms that you're that one big bag of rice. I don't know where that analogy came from, but you're a bag of rice. Imagine that. What's it matter what job you did? You know what I mean? That's only a small part of you. Do you want to be known by what you did as a 7-year-old? Of course you don't, do you? You don't want to be known by that now. Well, that's what you're asking your guides, you know, in terms of who are you, you know. Just let them decide. I don't care, you know. And, you know, again, some of it could be pressure on you in terms of the group you're in, or what you perceive yourself, or many other things where you say, I've got to be this, I've got to be that, I've got to know this, I've got to know that, whatever. No, you don't. Does that answer you? That sufficiently answered you? All right, okay, time to call it a day. I'm saying it's good time, because I do need the toilet. Well, it's been recorded. I've got that bit on recording too, but it's been recorded. So if you want a copy, it'd be posted somewhere at some stage. Follow that. There is, if you are interested, I know Brandon's posted them. There are a couple of spirit talk and Brandon's title of medium discourse. Short questions and answers to spirit, only 3 minutes worth. Ask a question is 3 minutes worth of answer. So there's lots of them coming out soon. If you would like to be involved, if you got your own questions you want to ask spirit, either send me, don't send me the questions, don't want to know your questions, send me and I'll tell you how to do it to be involved, and you can tune in and ask your questions, or you can contact Brandon. They should be of a general nature, not one of the lottery numbers. What's my next boyfriend's phone number? You know, none of that stuff. Anyway, if you want to do that, contact me and I'll tell you how to do it. And you can be involved in interviewing spirit for a while if you want to. See what comes about. There's a load of them coming out and a load more in development, and you can be part of it if you want to. Anyway, time for me to wrap up. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got lots of info. Shoot me an email if you've got some questions, you know, you want to do. I'll answer you as soon as I can. To say, unless it's difficult, and then I'll pass you on to somebody else. But if you want to ask a question, need a bit of help, let me know. All right.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Brandon. Take care, everybody. I'll be seeing you soon. Look after yourself.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, take care all. See ya.
Thank you, Julie, as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Thanks a lot,
Thank
Mark.
you, Julie.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.